April 28th, workout breakdown, shoulder day. Kind of excited about this one. There's nothing like super unique or crazy about it, but it's a couple talking points that I'd love to hit home to a lot of you guys. So let's get that started. So push press, high pull, reverse fly. I think a lot of people, not I think, I get a lot of questions on this, but I also do think a lot of people don't really know the difference between like why would we do a push press and why do we do a strict press? Like what is the point of both of these? So strict press is more isolate, right? You have no momentum, you've got no generation from your legs, and you're purposely isolating, ideally, the middle part of your shoulder. Obviously, other parts of your shoulder kick in, but that's the muscle we're truly focusing on. With the push press, it involves your entire body, your entire kinetic chain. It's more of an athletic position. It teaches your body how to work through the kinetic chain, treat your trunk as a conduit, generate power from the ground up. Obviously, you have to focus on stability through your pelvis, your trunk, and your shoulders. Like, there's a lot more going on with the push press, but at the end of the day, it also, once you figure out how to do that, it allows you to add more load and work on force output and becoming more explosive. Which again, a lot of people are like, what the hell do I need more explosive for? Well, it translates to everything we do in life, like just in general. And then at the end of the day, if you're like, I don't like the word explosive, it allows me to move more load. I can load myself up. I want to get stronger. It's an excellent way to do that. Obviously, you need to learn how to do it correctly. Here's a good example. There's a lot of people that lift all the time, right? Their ability to strict press maybe more than my ability to strict press. But in an athletic position or on my feet is also the athletic position, if you did not know. I all of a sudden have the ability to push press more fluidly. My capabilities for my volume are a lot higher. My capacity is higher. And I'm more efficient, right, than maybe the person that's never done before and just knows how to strict press. So when you're seated at an isolate level, somebody may have a higher strict press than you. But again, ultimately, you want to fill all modalities, right? We want to be really comfortable in a functional reality, which is on our feet. You also want to be good at push pressing and have the ability to keep your entire body and kinetic chain engaged and working for you all at the same time, which is what triple extension is and ankles, knees, and hips. And we talk about all the time in class anytime we do any of these Olympic lifts, which I'll talk about the high pull. But that is the difference between push press and a strict press. Both of them are something you definitely want to track. You always see the T's next to them when applicable. So again, make sure you guys write these things down and hopefully you track your progress over time. The high pull is very similar to a push press. A high pull, now there isn't a way that we do this strict. You can maybe an upright row, but they're not really the same thing. A high pull, you're working from the ground. Obviously, picking dead weight up off the ground is hugely functional. We do it probably every day of our lives without even realizing it. But we also do a ton of cleaning and picking things up off the ground in the gym. So in that physical setting, like becoming more efficient with it, learning how to use your body through things like triple extension, right? When everything's flexed and generating power through those extensions simultaneously, and working on really elevating the weight and getting to the zone where the dumbbell's kind of floating. Because again, the more weight you can move into that floating zone, right, the upper part of your chest, when we do things like cleans, your ability to hand flip becomes a lot easier because you have more space to work with. Or simpler, like when you want to move more weight, you have to have the ability to be as efficient as possible, to generate as much power as possible, to elevate the weight as high as possible so you do have the ability to hand flip. With the lighter weights, it's more about just giving yourself space to make it more seamless for the hand flip. So high pull is obviously also fantastic. Some of you guys have been here for a while, are aware of that. That's something I would also always track and get more and more comfortable with, right? You have to do things via repetition for your body to ever learn them. So keep working on those two. The bench lying reverse flies are there because we have not touched your posterior side of your shoulder yet. So people, I don't know that anybody ever pays attention, but those are there because I'm a big proponent on making sure we hit all parts of the muscle group we're targeting. So this will give you guys the opportunity to isolate the back side of your shoulder because again, those first two lifts kind of ignored that side of the muscle group. So there's that. The second block, or the last block, 15 minutes, a 3-minute EMOM, 5 rounds. I really love this setup too, and I want to go through kind of where my brain goes when I do stuff like this. Hopefully it gives you guys a little bit more structure when you do it. So the one thing most people tend to know about themselves is the aerobic stuff, right? Especially running. A lot of people can kind of correlate time to calories or time to meters, whether we're using a bike, a rower, or a treadmill. Obviously here a treadmill. So what's easy to do and what would give you structure is like we know it's 5 rounds. There's not an option for anything less. I know I have 3 minutes. The first 30% of it is taken up running. what's the furthest I can run in a minute that I can sustain for 5 rounds? That's what I'd first be asking myself, right? I know I have 2 more minutes when I'm done, but I'm not worried about that right now. So I'm going to be like, all right, let's say it's 200 meters. All right, I'm going to run 200 meters in a minute, and then I'm going to see how my body can transition off of that number, right? So I'm going to run very aggressively, hit my 200 meters. I have 2 minutes now to transition over to the ball tosses and the overhead front lunges with the same weight, by the way. And I'm just going to start with 10, and I'm going to go. And I'm going to do 10 of each. I'm going to quickly gauge how much time I have left, quickly ask myself whether or not that is appropriate, right? If I have 42 seconds left, then I'm like, all right, I feel pretty good. Like, my breath's not that out of control. Like, what can I change? Like, I'm not going to change my run, most likely. Not if I approached it the way I just said the first time. I'm going to maintain that 200 because, again, it's only a minute. There's not a lot of flexibility there. I'm just going to go to 15. And then round 2, which we often hear us and the trainers all talk about, round 1's a play test. Truly it is, right? Round 2, I'm going to try 15. All of a sudden, I've got 16 seconds to go, and I'm hyperventilating, right? Well, I found my right number. Question is, can I do it for 3 more rounds, right? And when you get into it, right, and say you go into round 3, and you finish round 3, and you got 12 seconds to go, you're like, holy shit, I cannot do that again. There's no way. I'm going to go back down to 10. No. We adjust our run. Let's adjust our run down to 175. Let's bring our run down. Because we're so fatigued, we can still work on maintaining the same output, cut it down a little bit, right? So again, I'm going to run slightly less aggressive. It's still a minute. I don't have a choice on the minute, okay? Hopefully hit 175 with a little bit less output. And then I'm going to try to my best to maintain that 15 reps because I do know I have the ability to do it in the amount of time. I just need to find the right output in front of it in order to maintain that max volume. Because again, in situations like this, like EMOMs, where 9 out of 10 times we're working on capacity, I don't want to cut my volume if I don't have to, because that's the one thing. Lactic threshold is something we always want to work on. So I'm going to maintain my 15 reps, cut that down to 175. Let's say I finish it. I got 16 seconds again left. I got 1 round to go. Like, I'm just going to hammer home. Most people with a round to go tend to be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. But again, in situations like these, if it's aerobic is timed or there's an aerobic piece, again, most of us have a much easier time understanding our capabilities there than we do random numbers and random exercises afterwards, all right? So again, in terms of setting it up, that's what I would do. Hopefully you find that a little bit helpful. Obviously, you also don't need to do anything I just said. This Group Fitness, and you pay for your membership. I'm just trying to give you guys, structure when you go into these workouts, because every single one of these workouts, there are ways to approach it to make it more efficient for you guys to hopefully progress a little bit quicker than just kind of winging it every single time. So anyways, that's the 28th. The second video will come out soon.